Hello, hello, hello! Oh, we're not playing Tales of Iron today. We're playing Disco Elysium. Oh boy. Yeah. Sorry about last weekend. I was exhausted. um, and just couldn't get my butt out of, like, a prone position. I was not in a good place. uh, More physically than mentally, which is a good change of pace. But yeah. We're going to head back into the world of Disco Elysium. Okay. Is there anything else we can talk with you about?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Tell me more about the rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
No, I want to hear about the insect.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but...
Oh?
Ah yes, Phasmatodea, a diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Here comes the interesting.
Uh-huh.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast.
Really?
Hence, it's named the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering it with us, officer.
Possibly.
There's a touch of awe in the way she enunciates the creature's name.
What makes you think the phasmids around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
So newspaper clipping is all the evidence you had?
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
I mean, out of a lot of cryptozoology, this is actually something I'd believe existed.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
You seem really excited about this cryptid.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses.
Oh. Yeah. Does it have cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years. Centuries, even.
Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
True. Is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Alright, what's so special about the stick bug then?
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special.
Yeah, it does sound it.
Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Well, I guess that's all for now. I better make use of my time. I also should probably pay for a room.
Can I help you?
About my bill for
Got
tonight.
the 20 real.
Yeah, 20 real for the night.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Okay, goodbye. Find money and pay rent. Find Moral, the cryptozoologist. Prove your authority to Titus Harley. Point back to Joyce. Oh, yeah. I guess we can go do that now. Tum to 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 tie to tea to tum. How we doing?
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
I could use a coat like that. This rain is freezing. Or, actually, no, I've got a cloak on. Yeah.
Very rugged. Good choice. Now, I suspect you had questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day. Am I right?
Yeah, I spoke with a lorryman about the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Wait, where exactly are these eyes located?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologise for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
She's trying to conceal her excitement, but the slight glimmer in her green eyes tells you otherwise.
Hold on, you seem anxious to know this. Why is that?
I've kept my eye on the camionneurs. Even tried to get to know one. It's a mystery I'm already invested in. Which one of them, if any, could organize such a complex operation?
Well, we turned up quite a few interesting things, actually.
Ah, good to hear. I wouldn't want to pry into a confidential police matter, but in the event you'd like to share more, I would like to know who it was.
Seems the architect of the operation has gone missing. An abandoned lorry is near the statue.
A runaway? Good work. This is a tangible lead towards solving the whole mystery.
Yeah, she's a fan of vintage movie stars. Inside of the cab is plastered with posters.
We contain multitudes, do we not? It might not be pertinent to her profession, but who knows? It may help you find her yet.
Also, by the way, she's a she.
Clever. Few suspect a woman in this sort of skullduggery. Good move on their part.
And I saw a advanced radio system with a lot of stations saved.
That speaks of the vastness and sophistication of the operation. Were you able to examine the radio?
Unfortunately, the dial knob was missing. Radio itself was inoperable.
Sensible for her to disable access to such essential information.
And I found research something called ULAN frequencies related to the operation.
High-intensity microwave frequencies. They're used for navigational purposes, to compress the inter-eastlery space. They may use it to communicate with incoming freighters.
Let's be honest, you have no idea what that meant. Inter-Esolary microwave compression. Moving on.
Oh, I missed it by a point. Ouch.
High-intensity
Let's be honest, you have no idea what that meant. Inter-Esolary microwave compression. Moving on.
High-intensity microwave.
As the shipments approach Revachol, somehow you suspect something more sinister.
Yeah, I increased my logic just for that, but logic seems a good thing to level up. Came across a few hidden maps illustrating the range of the smuggling network.
First-rate find. That should tell you all you need to know about their network, I would imagine.
Yeah, spread all over Jamrock and beyond. Couldn't even identify the exact endpoints.
So this goes beyond Jamrock. At least you now understand the gravity of the situation, and those maps should prove very valuable indeed.
I've told you what I found. Now it's your turn.
I appreciate you placing your trust in me. Thank you again for looking into this matter. You have my gratitude, and the gratitude of Wild Pines Group. Now, per our original agreement, It's time for me to share company secrets with you.
There's a change in her demeanor. Caution comes over her. Tension.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
Already heard a connection between the lynching and the strike. I need your testimony.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
That would explain why he was wearing combat gear. Momentary lapse of faith?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker?
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
I see. Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they?
Crenell, an Oronese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating.
I see.
They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
Oh, some kind of PTSD equivalent in this world?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
I think we did hear about that from them.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
Yeah, what then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
I have to say, this is certainly not disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Union has over 2,000 men.
Numbers are against him 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, detective? It's not pretty.
Yeah, I
The
guess.
Serai's giant hornet, the world's 2nd largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia.
True.
All we can do is keep the rest from following suit. One single, concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
How much time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
You don't know what's going on?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Said the deceased assaulted a woman?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Oh, what did the teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
It's the first time I've heard of this. Where did the assault take place and when? Pretty sure I heard about this before.
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Who is the victim?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You meet her soon enough, you feel?
Yeah, probably. What can you tell me about Colonel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Ah.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Okay, so, something I will explain because it is something that I didn't know until I looked it up. So, first, second, and third world countries. What does that mean? So, that is a definition from the Cold War, done by us here in the Americas, where we believed that and we'll say democratic, but really they mean capitalist, countries are the first world, socialist countries are the second world, and everywhere else is the third world. And essentially, that was the whole designation. Now, what are they meaning by fourth world? That is a good question, because if we went by those definitions, I would say that would be an uninhabited place. But then again, this world is definitely not Earth, so, yeah. Alright, anything else you can tell me?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
Understandable.
If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
I got no idea what you're talking about.
Ah, yes, your condition.
Yeah.
The International Collaborative Police maintains a database for these sorts of things. Perhaps you should consult it. It was just a suggestion.
Could you contact the company, tell them to call it off?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Mm-hmm.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
The Colonel, when he was hanged, you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
I mean in a biblical sense, I just meant, were you acquainted? But I guess maybe not.
You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face, nor in her voice. But she had sympathy for this man.
No, you liked him.
Liked is a bit strong. He was the most charismatic among them. He handled all the talking. His departure left a major gap in the group's communication skills.
Ah, so he was less of a warrior and more of a coordinator. That's very useful in those kind of situations. His name was...
Lely. His service name. A nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others.
One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
Miss Lily, anything else? Nationality? How old did you say he was?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
Nationality, accent?
He was, Occidental, I think.
Alright.
Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
And where are the remaining 2 mercs?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
Yeah.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Yeah, I still need to know where they are.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Where are these mercenaries?
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbour gates, scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
Yeah.
The situation at the gates is a powder keg. She says she wants to avert catastrophe, but that's where she draws the line. I call bullshit.
One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Yeah, I got other questions for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
Was that about a bloodbath earlier?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivachol West.
Yeah. Yay. I guess that's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Can you tell me about these tattoos?
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
Sorry.
For about half a minute, in silence.
Observe the woman's expression.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
In places like blooms in a pattern?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oranese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
How's the use of the map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
What travels does the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oranese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
And what?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
What's that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
Hey, you said you couldn't read it. Seems like you can.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
That makes sense.
It could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're tactful, it could be beneficial.
Maybe.
Surely there are other people to ask about the tattoo. This is not necessary to complete the task, officer. It's a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere.
You're right. Definitely not a good idea.
I am relieved you think so. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security.
That's all for the tats. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Guess I got some more questions about reality.
More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What's this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
I mean, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot.
Ah.
Or two.
Where is Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
Yeah.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall.
Goodness.
A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
And who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
And the dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
What big time?
The revolution.
What is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
You say it's a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare.
And the apes, are they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
Okay, neutral.
On the other hand...
No, the tiny apes are doing all they can to be better. It's not their fault.
What was the kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
What did the Tsar do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
And next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What is a zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened to the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Saying it's been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have you been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
And we got a level up just for talking.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
Yeah, I don't seem to be thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova. This raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just... We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we'd played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
I asked you, who are you in all of this?
And I asked you, past less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
I don't know what I would have done differently.
And you would have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city.
Happily.
Good. Not that it would have mattered. In the end, the commune forced everyone to the barricades.
And who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
By the liberals, you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement.
Uh-huh.
Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How'd the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
Yeah.
She's one of them. Of course.
Everyone gets shot. Who is there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The Coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Just the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The Coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the Coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Right.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralists?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are
Right.
the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
Right.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
Uh-oh.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Yeah, not just technically, practically. For a moment, there was hope.
A devout man of the center. Hard to come by. It's good to have someone who takes a moderate approach to head shooting. In your line of work, I mean.
Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Yeah, the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Sounds like they should have shot more people in the head then.
Don't worry. Klas Mazov shot 15 million people in the head. But that was all the way over in Grad.
Anyone else getting shot in the head, like on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
I guess it's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I want to know who you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
Oh?
I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Dios mío, a liberal.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
Yeah, I forgive you, only 'cause you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Vile Deul.
I hope we're able to continue as friends, despite my deeply felt need to infiltrate and betray the revolution, and then ensnare you to financial service. Honestly, I may have even preferred it, had the communards won. Who knows? They might really have built something better. But they didn't, because they lost. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Oh, well, you would have done something differently.
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinaise a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinaise, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're no dummy yourself.
No, her intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
Yeah, what is that?
The girl in the old lady rags
Yeah.
looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture.
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags.
I
She
see.
prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I might be part of the infraculture.
And what would that be?
Yeah, disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabble in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby.
You're a disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
New?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-coloured everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now.
Sounds fun. I can't remember a single thing.
Wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there?
For some reason, your mind is a veritable repository of Guillaume Le Million lyrics, trivia, and B-sides. But the time to explore this is when you're alone, facing a mirror perhaps. Right now, it would derail the reality lowdown.
What is...
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
And heck with it. What is...
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue. A doubt of sorts already in your head. But it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later. Once the jamais vu thought is complete.
I think rhetoric would probably be useful. I like to convince people. That's all for
Glad to
now.
have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Yeah,
Anything
thank
else?
you. Thanks. That's all for now.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Where's that coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights, and they solve shit.
Actually, now I hear superstar and law official in a sentence. They do sound weird together.
What are you, deaf? They're perfect, like rock star politician and drug addict teacher. Embrace the superstardom you've worked so hard to establish.
You got the wrong impression. I'm not a superstar. Trash.
Yeah, a cool, trash superstar. Big dick cop down on his luck. Salam Rocky by here. Badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera. Lights.
Alright, what's that about a ludicrous fantasy world?
Yeah, you know. Beneath it is just heartbreak. A pulmonary tract infection. Atherosclerotic disease. This is where you say action and reconceptualize all that. Reinvent it as the world's first celebrity police officer. This is the beginning of your legend.
Yeah, fuck it. Action.
With a sudden flash, the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
Make it absolutely clear. No one's saying you're an actual superstar with groupies and cocaine riddled with hep C, strike a lion-esque pose kind of Mike way. You're not Guillermo de Million or David Duas. No, you're a metaphorical superstar. Bring that rock and roll authenticity and passion in line of work where people don't expect or want to see it, where some would say it doesn't belong in law enforcement. I guess there'll be something I unlock later. What is my... Okay, I'm nearly leveled up.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked.
Knock knock?
The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response.
Anybody there?
The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Hold on, who am I speaking to?
Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on, get out of here.
From within comes the faint sound of a broom sweeping across the concrete floor.
Well, this is the police. Could you please open the door?
Ha! The police? Have Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
And I'm not joking.
No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door? There must be another entrance to the east.
I see.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Aren't you conscious?
Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Yeah.
He's come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out.
Are you sleeping right now?
Don't get fucking clever with me, pig. You think you're so clever.
Uh-huh. Talking with BDR and the hanging.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
So in the quiet place, fight is cold, his shirt ends unbuttoned on the frame. No trouble for me, I just want to know what's going on here.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to...
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Actually, Genmarie really wants to talk to you.
Is it really that important?
He adjusts his shirt.
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Oh, looks like you got a good view of the whirling backyard. Tell him about anything about the hanging?
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinet's standards.
What were you doing Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
Pretty sure I didn't.
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
Someone from the police?
I couldn't tell you. We don't usually see much of the gendarmerie around here.
When was that?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
It'll take more than rain to bring this place back to life.
Mm-hmm.
He's deflecting. He's young with a sharp memory. He hasn't had time to drown it in booze and chemicals.
Still haven't answered my question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
What kind of friend?
It was my Sunday friend.
Well, what's your friend's name? Did he see someone?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the grey sky, the neighboring windows are streaked with rain.
Can you tell me your name?
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Huh.
That's definitely not his real name.
You're not actually called Martin Martinez, are you?
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
Alright, we'll talk later.
No. We won't.
Takes one last drag of a cigarette before stubbing it out on the balcony.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Yeah, I got a 50% chance.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains.
Hey, listen. I'm just trying to make things okay again. Can we meet again somewhere else?
For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes. Compassion and a hint of understanding.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
His voice is soft and deliberate with a flick of his wrist, sends a cigarette butt sailing over the rail.
But, hold on. What's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door.
Interesting.
It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
Well, thank you.
A stone like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it.
Turn it
There's
over.
a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
I see.
Looks like it could belong to the building's front door.
I'll put the stone back. Stuff. Flip up glasses. The auditor. -1 authority, but another logic boost. Box feeling cleaning chemicals. Smells of laundry detergent. Picture notice missing plastered on the wall on top of each other. All shoe racks, boots, sneaker, and old slippers. Shoes come in 3 different sizes. Okay, 3 different types of people. Someone's drawing a 5-pointed star on the wall. Satanists! No, there's no Satan here. Boogie Street 46. How we doing?
Give me a moment.
Leaning on her broom, knuckles white as a bone. Seems to have difficulty breathing.
The
Uh-oh.
cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Alright, should I call a doctor?
I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me.
Starts coughing. Red spots appearing on her cheeks.
You're still worried. It's very worrying.
Yeah.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residence.
I have a few questions about the apartment.
Ask away, policeman.
What can you tell me about Cindy?
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still, she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
That's all.
She mumbles some kind of a response, then hacks something into her handkerchief.
Looking for a young man in his mid-20s, dark hair, skinny build, smoker on the balcony?
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
No trouble, just wanted to talk with him. Know where he lives?
Talk?
What was so funny about that?
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
And who are you?
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways.
You live here?
If you can call it living. I have a
And...
room upstairs, right next to the coal room.
Hey, Silver Moon and Volkwolf. Sorry. Oh, party of 14. Goodness. Sorry for not having my chat up at the moment. Cool. And yeah, I am definitely enjoying this game.
It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company. And that's all I need from this world.
She hasn't spoken to anyone for a while. Even her sentences feel rusty.
Oh, thank you. I guess I'm off. Graffito says a firing squad for the rich. Understand that. Equipped to discover secret orbs in shady areas. So let's see. Minus drama, but increase in visual calculus. Yeah. 9. Someone hasn't been in for a while, I bet.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10.
$28. Well, if we did that, we should go upstairs. More money. Current shift, just a little. Someone's watching from within. Someone's growing rosemary, thyme, and a cactus.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's
No
knock.
one answers. Looks like he isn't home. You should come back tomorrow evening, after 2100.
Okay. Ooh, we got access to some other stuff. Just store. Nothing for you here right now. Break a box full of cigarette butts and electric wires. Yay! That sounds safe. Loud rumbling snore comes from within. Ooh. Some alcohol and some meds. Moss crawls on the bathroom tiles. Actual moss? Shower curtains are covered in some sort of slime. More cash. I can definitely pay for sleeping. Oblong pen. Oh, yeah, that came from Kim, so I should keep on to that. Well, more magnesium. Might as well do my best to get as much cash as possible. I'm doing my part cleaning the planet. Damage looked like it been caused by an earthquake. Or recyclable stuff?
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Let's
Your
put
bottles
those in.
clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Yeah.
You're 100% sure you got special Hobocop money for that tear. At least 100% extra tear money. If the numbers on the machine told you otherwise, it's a lie.
Okay.
You see several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back.
I don't think I need that right now.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Alright.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
No problem. Sorry about that.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
I think it might be able to help me decipher some tattoos.
Don't think so.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
Of course, yeah, forget about it. Discuss something
Another
else.
grunt. He turns his attention to the gates and seems tense.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave now. Lorries probably stored fuel here. Now they store booze.
Lowman, you called me at an hour.
Nothing else to talk to you about.
Oh, look. It's the cop who turned me into a bad person.
I guess I'll head out. Sorry. Sewer grate. Gateway to a river of filth. Yeah, I don't want to go into the poo water. What's that thing?
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything.
I guess we'll...
You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. You hear a soft clunk. Then, nothing happens.
Oh, we'll release
The
it.
spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal. Some other way.
Right.
Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
G'day to you, officer.
Hi.
A burly man hangs out by the water lock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the water lock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
Yeah, you know what caused this wreckage?
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers in Revachol.
Uh-huh.
The words Daredevil Driver sound ominous to you.
They should.
Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here. Especially a water lock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then.
What's the lever that does nothing?
It's supposed to operate the water lock, but as noted, it's all junk right now. Disabled because of the blockage.
Why is it disabled?
Safety measure. Turns out the panel needs a special key to be reactivated. Wouldn't want anyone moving the water lock with debris still in the channel. It'll be restarted on Wednesday morning. You want to do the honors when the time comes?
No, do I ever.
Great! Just drop in on Wednesday if you want to see the water lock at work. They say the canal crew will be here at 7:15.
Right.
The coast part of the map is inaccessible until the third day.
Know it's further down the coast?
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong with it. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Well, bye.
Hello again. How can I help you?
Oh wait, you happen to have any guns, like the ones carried by opposite citizen militia?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Uh-oh.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God.
Wait, I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Great.
And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you.
Feels like something you're not trying to tell me.
You weren't quite yourself, officer.
What was I like?
You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
Very normal behavior. You must have been in great shape.
How much did I sell the gun for?
15 real.
Jeez. So sorry that you had to see me in that state. You don't have to talk about it any further.
No apologies necessary, officer.
Was the buyer a policeman as well?
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her.
Huh.
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Maybe she's a vigilante and wants to prove she can control the streets more effectively than the citizens' militia, which wouldn't be hard.
Oh, I certainly hope not.
Oh?
He steps further back behind the bullet-resistant glass, visibly perturbed. He doesn't want to be involved in any incidents.
Have people of Evarts Clare's union come here to track that gun?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
People as oleaginous as Everard seem like they're lying, even when they're really being truthful.
Any idea where I can find the buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everard wasn't lying, and the Union can track her down in time.
At least now how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
I might be able to help aid my investigation.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have.
Know anything about the hanging?
I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
He doesn't know anything.
Yeah, that's all I got.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
I guess I need to leave.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Win her back?
Yes. Buy something nice. A figurine.
Dig up a truly cool figurine in the box on the table?
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys.
Figurine of rags?
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
These human soldiers?
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers. Revolutionary soldiers.
Ah.
I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win.
Well, it's meant to give people hope that even we can do it.
Maybe.
I guess we'll step away. No real need to do anything there.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well loved and well traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels.
Let's see
One
more.
especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset sweet. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Shopkeep, the Stereo 8 approved machine here.
Is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul. Plays all reel-to-reel format. 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real.
What I want to know is, could this device come in... Well, sure this is all in working order?
Absolutely. I've tested each one myself with recordings of speech. Found sounds and music from a variety of genres. Even though I don't really like music.
Think it'll come in handy in my police work?
If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that. Or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Why not? Let's buy the boombox.
And here you are. Quality sound reproduction on the go. It'll play anything, wherever. Turn any tape into a conversation of sounds and shapes.
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
Where'd you get this?
It was brought to me to be altered.
The light's buzzing resembles the purring of a cat. It seems very much at home here.
Yeah, I think we'll leave for now. Can't imagine that thing is too much of a use. Hot air rises up from the sewer. Sour, acidic, and strangely comforting.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. East Delta Commerce Center? This must be the name of the doomed commercial area.
Alright.
The tracks are as they have ever been. A bit more worn, perhaps. Fortunately, the street sweeper still hasn't noticed their presence.
Yeah, significant somehow.
Maybe. Probably. An ominous warning of bad things ahead.
I think I got it. Okay. Oh, that's a legendary spirit of core. No wonder. Godly authority, yeah, good luck there. Looks like interfacing wouldn't be the worst thing to level up.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Use your chain colors to fix the faucet. Oh boy.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face. The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. Well, you know one thing for sure. You've probably never been a plumber.
Alright. Locate the source of the expression?
It belongs in the the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate, uncontested way of life for our species.
Alright.
Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened.
Oh?
Forget about ostentatious orchestrations. For Revachol, your city, that meant only one thing. Guillaume le Million. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right.
Right.
Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open air boîte de nuit somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression.
Does this have anything to do with the ostentatious orchestrations?
Not really. OO must have just stirred your mind. They're more like a disco rock band anyway.
Hey, I feel like I need to add a clicking sound when I make the...
The click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily in Guillaume le Million's regional mega hit, Don't Worry, Your Pretty Little Head.
Ah.
Sometimes you like to add finger pistols to the mix, because, unlike Guillaume le Million, you are a police officer. It's your nifty little way to say, I'm armed and dangerous.
Well, except I'm not. Anything else, like, who am I? Why did I become cop? Why did I drag myself into oblivion?
You have some understanding of the near history of disco, plus the trivia you've picked up along the way. Episodic memory, however, remains in the dark. It may never return. You should prepare yourself for that.
Yeah, how long ago was the new?
There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression. Looking good on you, or anyone. 2 decades, if the calendar is to be trusted. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression is a relic.
So I adopted it. Why?
Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now. Only the grimace remains.
I guess that's it then.
It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return.
Well, we'll let the mirror be for now. What happened to Guillaume le Million, who with amber mane and sparkling teeth beguiled and tattered remains of the nation while you suffered and suffered, dematerialized in a cloud of cocaine dust, simply stand in the corner and melt into slendering new lines years ago. Spare a thought. For his great ass too. Or wait, maybe he became a police officer at Rubicon West.
window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
Alright. Well, at least we gathered a fair amount of glass.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
Not now.
Oh, excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of lemon? Maybe lime. Maybe who cares? Just rum?
Yeah. Trying to be better. I'm trying to be better. It might fail. Probably will fail, but I'd like to think the attempt is worth the attempt.
The tear machine stands in your bottles clunk into the machine.
So many bottles. And they're not smashed. I mean, that is impressive. I figured out how to open up this thing.
Before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Hey, sugar.
The container door appears unmoved by your attempt at flattery.
Fine piece of engineering, know that?
The door does not respond to your advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow more closed than before?
Uh-oh.
Why does this situation feel so familiar? Do you have a history of propositioning inanimate objects?
Open
you
it?
attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked.
Okay. Oh, new gloves. Okay, that gives me electrochemistry, and these would give me half-life. Fingerless and grippy padding making it ideal for quadrupedal movement or for lifting cargo. Guess we can come back and talk with you for a bit, even though I'm sure this is a terrible idea.
Mr. Dubois, every worker is a god, right? What can I do for you today?
Well, I met Joyce, the company representative.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along.
Uh-huh.
One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Just pals?
We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her because you and I are such good friends and I helped you get the body down. And I'm helping you find your gun. I'm not a jealous guy.
What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Galmon?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
You made concessions for the company in previous negotiation. Why would you let an ally like that go?
He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left.
You called him a midget.
Harry, I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting.
Uh-huh.
Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Yeah, that doesn't...
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Joyce didn't mention any casserole.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now.
However, Joyce seems to think the union's lowballing her.
Yes, yes. Lowballing, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
Well, I did tell Joyce I met you.
It's perfectly okay. Even if you've told her everything we've talked about, it's absolutely fine.
He seems happy about the prospect of you telling Joyce about your conversations.
Sounds like you want me to tell her about our conversations.
No, no, Harry. I'm perfectly neutral and 100% for transparency. I know people say a lot of bad things about the Debardairs Union, but we are actually squeaky clean.
Uh-huh.
Yes. He really doesn't seem to mind.
Why haven't you let her in to see you?
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Well, let's talk about something else.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization. I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret.
Right.
Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everett doesn't mind.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now.
Right. I'm told the union's involved in local drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny Fat Guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
The reaction appears to be sincere, but it's impossible to tell with this guy, honestly.
Oh, no comment.
Harry, You wound me, Harry, in the heart. But I trust you to put this to bed. Do what you must, and let's change the subject, shall we?
He's hiding his real reaction beneath courtesy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I finished investigating local drug trade.
Ah, yes. Your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now let's talk real business.
Actually, Rivershell doesn't have a mayor. He refuses to discuss it further. It's probably just a small nuisance to him. Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
I'm reconsidering opening that door you asked me to open. Perhaps it'll help me somehow.
A fantastic change of heart, Harry. Go talk to Manana down by the gates. He'll brief you and give you the key. Just open one little door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. That's it. Anything else we should discuss?
Gonna leave now, but we might talk again later. Actually,
Mr. DeMar, every worker is a god, right? What can I do for you today?
what's in the containers outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
Crane one.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Alright.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not...
Have anything to increase rhetoric? That's the opposite. I think equipping the boombox brings up music, and I don't want Twitch to be more angry with me. I'll definitely take that. Bunch of random money lying around? Okay. Doorway is gonna collapse soon. Yeah, looks like it. Restoration pillars keep the ruins together. Their postcard. Well, it would be nice if getting to the back of this area didn't cause me to go all the way around the map.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head. This must be the door Everard mentioned. You still need to get the key from Anyana first, though.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's that quest. No, I don't want to do that quest. Because Everett is a big bad poopy head.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Apparently. Well, I did connect you with the local drug trade.
Like hell you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 kilos.
Right, no local drug trade, except for you.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
You're admitting to propping off the poisoning your own people?
Boo fucking who. People will always be taking drugs. Might as well do it clean and organized.
Yeah, that's what the labor movement is all about. Clean and organized. And the Hardy Boys are running it.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you? Go fuck yourself.
The 830, the one who's missing, she runs the thing, right?
My answer is, fuck off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy. I run this goddamn scene.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
I know! Fatty walked on all fours. He's so fucking fat he left 2 sets of footprints.
Go fuck your mom, Dennis.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all fours. Anything else you need to know?
Well, I did talk to Joyce. The merc you hanged, his friends are definitely going to be coming for you.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Crenell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Yeah, forming some kind of tribunal. They're coming for you.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah. A well-oiled murder machine.
I see. Well, Joyce says they've gone rogue. No one's controlling them.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
Oh, a single Serenese giant hornet can kill 40 bees a minute.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
You're bees, not they're hornets.
We're not bees. We're men. We're socialists.
Easy, E. He's trying to phase you. What are you trying to do? Scare my men?
Well, the mercenaries are armed with automatics.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zilagavs. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
Well, they pierce ceramic armor?
I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
That was an unsure phrasing.
See what? That they don't?
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal.
That's Krenel's bad news. You know that, right?
So are the local gangs. The fucking Barmy army and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
Alright.
What do you mean, okay?
I mean, okay, you got one more gun on your side. Once I find mine, I lost it.
We don't need you or your lost gun. We all have our guns. We'll just use those if it's okay with you.
I want to talk about the hanging again.
Again, just get the dead guy's autograph, since you're his biggest fan.
Good one, Titus.
Alright, I guess that's it.
Fucking time.
Gonna take off.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Oh, what's your role in all of this?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
Are you the Hardy girl?
I am not.
You could be Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
Uh-huh.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an attorney.
What are you gonna do to me?
What are we going to do to you? The union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
Uh-huh. Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
I guess we'll talk later. Let's see here. Yeah, I really don't want to do that.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
You know what's behind that door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Well, I don't need anything else. Stay masculine.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. The door does not budge. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every side. Old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since this was painted, maybe.
I'm not going to take your cash. I know I've been taking cash everywhere, but I've been taking cash, like, you know, outside on the ground. I'm sure that's people squirreling stuff away, but, like, it is unattended.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Let's take a look.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards.
Kuno.
That's Kuno on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericanasis, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Pericanassian Church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Well, let's see what this one's like.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
Well, let's try it.
Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk, the ring of metal.
Take a look.
The curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry, different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape, like a ghost.
Let's focus on it.
The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort. Its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it. Its leaves ripped from it by the winter wind.
Well, hang in there, little one.
The little brave birch tree seems to wave back in the wind.
Fascinating.
You're back. Good. What can I help?
I guess I was wondering if you had anything to talk about after we spoke with Everett. "16 days, the coldest April. Interesting. Someone's torn down the wall. Old grocery list on the table. Checks. Foreclosed by Marley's Realty Associates. Or the Martinez, sorry. Above, tarps flap in the wind. Forgotten hammers and nails rust. Fascinating. Door is locked. You can't get in it.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are.
That's right, we've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Is that fuel?
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? This shit is pumped out of government vehicles.
She did it herself. Pumped it out. She's proud of it too.
Well, that's some pretty clever cultural commentary.
You ain't seen nothing yet, Piggy Boo.
What are you doing on the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
Looking suddenly pensive. Don't know what to write, huh?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home, and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
So, why are you so committed to facing the building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
I guess I got an opinion on this. Want to hear it?
Yeah?
I like public art. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't mind me.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
She means the opposite.
Uh-huh.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Catch you later, Cindy. I mean, considering she's using, like, fuel to deface the building... For the home labor genes. 100 tiny feet scurrying beneath the grate. Rats of the city. Enough coal lasts for several winters. Smells of chemicals. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Cindy? Maybe. Sorry about that.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10.
Rearranging furniture.
The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. sounded like a woman. A woman's shoes.
Hello?
A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
That's not what it said. This time she steps to come closer. Who is it? Demands a female voice. Very intense. This is police. Could you please open?
Do I have to open the door?
Hear the clacking of heels again as the other side walks right up to the door. Tone's now getting a defensive edge.
Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
It's generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason.
That is true. Well, I'm inquiring about the...
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says number 11.
Let's take a look at the padlock.
It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it.
Well, thank goodness we are the lock-picking lawyer.
Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says number 11.
Well, today on the Lock-Picking Lawyer, we interface with a master lock with a pair of bolt cutters. Let's see how this goes.
The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now.
Fascinating.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov. Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all.
Father Massov, hero of the working class.
A warm feeling fills you as you look into Marzov's marble eyes. The hallway behind the door is empty. No one else heard your courageous salute.
Yeah, Communard lives in this room.
A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
So in other words, normal Communard. Fudged revolutionary posing with guns. Books on critical theory of monstrosities of capital and such. Flamboyant poster of a white star. Real lithography. And in here... bullet and a lounge jacket. I mean, I know that's technically theft, but hey.
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words.
Oh.
The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution.
Interesting.
Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Why the antlers?
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it.
And the upside-down star?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
And white?
Because white is the color of peace.
Yeah, why is this evoking me?
Gone. Gone is the glory of hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways. You are the big communism builder now. It's you or no one.
Right.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. Oh, and the cool piece of toilet paper is stuck to the back.
Yeah, can I read the case files now?
Yes, at last. You find a way to piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. HDB-41, date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB-41120-11700, the next world mural.
HDB-41, weren't those officer precincts?
Why, yes. Your precinct number is 41.
And HDB is Harold Dubois.
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials. Harry Dubois, HDB. Still feels like there's something missing from that.
I can revisit this.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Well, I guess we'll interact with this.
Behold, 16 Days of Coldest April by Yekaterina Dahl. The cover image shows a row of concrete apartments above which span a black and white rainbow.
Yeah, it feels heavy.
Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead.
Interesting.
You would do that in Grad.
How long is this book anyway?
You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and the type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long.
Okay.
Real art is dense and difficult. If it didn't feel like you had to wrestle a suicidal bear to get through it, you weren't really reading.
Well, let's see what it says on the back.
The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author.
And she looks like...
She can't be much older than her mid-30s in this photograph. And yet, from this cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stare back at you.
Guess let's give it a read.
In cold, detached prose, the author describes a scene from one of the Yugoslavia riots in the 20s. Youths overturned motor carriages and set trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them in a flurry of baton blows. The Yugoslavia riots took place from 27 to 29. Fueled by ethnic unrest and the state's repressive tactics, these events are often seen as marking the end of a brief period of liberalization known as the Yugoslavia Spring. Like all such periods, it is frequently memorialized in art and literature.
Right.
As ethnic tensions run wild, a pair of young lovers meet each other on the street. Somehow, in the middle of all the chaos, they manage to lock arms and look into each other's eyes.
And next?
It would physically hurt you to keep reading. Are you sure?
Yeah, 10 more pages.
They go through a brief and somewhat awkward love affair. And in the end, they betray each other and succumb to the absurdity of Gradian life. The man becomes a lens grinder, completely abandoning his former existence. He toils through the daily drudgery at the Lenka Polyfabricate. Happiness and fulfillment have eluded him his whole life. And in the end, he has nothing to do but dedicate himself to the craft.
And the woman?
She spends the next several decades standing at a conveyor in a Sosnovo fish processing plant. The smell of fish guts slowly seeps into her hair and skin, as every single one of her dreams dies, one by one.
Great.
The memory of their short time spent together tortures the former lovers ceaselessly until the end of their days. Years pass in solitude, their bodies growing ever more decrepit.
Why can't I put this book away?
As life leaves their remains between the soil sheets, their final thoughts are filled with regret.
So this is very Russian. Well, let's put the book away. I guess we can check out some of these other places. Apartment 29. Complete silence. Whoever lives here isn't home. Makes sense. Voice from within. Sing along some buoyant dance track.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Yeah, why? It's a wall. An ordinary wall.
Guess I'm not too conceptual yet. What is my conceptuality? Just my... Yeah, I got a +1 from something.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Yeah, no, I'm okay.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Again, fail. Ow!
Ow. Shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door? Don't you know that things like that hurt?
I deserve this. My body deserves to suffer for being this weak and disappointing.
What's going on there? Are you really trying to break down the back door? I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer. Don't tempt the spirits, or you'll damage the holy wards on the door.
It barely looks like you've done any damage to the door, however. It's still locked and closed, covered in dozens of little charms and trinkets.
Well, great.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. These three things are very important to the working class mind. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services.
How does that work?
It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage, and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything.
Oh.
Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything. Though it is important to note, when it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place.
Interesting.
Various paranatural books still litter the shelf.
I was expecting more paranormal than paranatural.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez.
Can I buy these
I'm
maps?
sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, they're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
Why is one of Martinez so cheap?
That old thing? It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
The place does not look like a successful tourist trap, does it?
What happened then?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
I guess I'll buy the map.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
Yeah, let's look at the map of
north coast
Revachol.
of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East.
And west of the river?
Houdon. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad, and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
And Martinez?
It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait. There it is. North of Jamrock. The strip of coast next to the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, this is somewhere to be. This is all you have. But it's still something. Streets and sodium lights, the sky, the world. You're still alive.
And Insulde?
This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast is La Caillou. You are here. Another far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme.
Anything
Ozone,
else?
Laurentide, Fas à la Mer, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands. All just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou in a bookstore. It's you.
Can you see cities on the island?
You can. On Caillou, Revachol, a single black star. On Ozone, Fondelier, and Vimandu. On archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers. On Seminine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. Lost little pearls of light, tiny fires in the dark. 850 million people live on these little dots, an oceanic world of culture and commerce torn apart by history.
And the edges?
The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seo is the west azimuth. Isolas, they're called.
Right.
Connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there.
Right.
You have little idea what they are. Distant stars. Gods. But looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods. Gods of distance and outer dust.
Okay. Oh, we've got the map. Okay. Looks like Guillermo de Million, that hair poster. Everyone knows the most interesting about fascists was their magic. Ugh.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime.
Okay, I think... See, a container can't open, equip a pry bar. That makes sense. But that will be for another time. So, yeah. This has been a pretty fun time, and, yeah. I think we've managed to solve a few things. Not much, but a few. When we come back tomorrow, we're going to be going back into Tales of Iron. That should be fun. But that'll be for another time. When we come back, folks, I guess we're going from someone who fights for the people as a communist officer to a rat who fights for his people as a monarch. Both sides of the coin, huh? Have a good one, folks.